Hi, it's Kevin Bates here. So yesterday seemed to be a themed day, and the theme was the term intrinsic value, because everywhere I looked I kept coming across it. The United Kingdom Financial Services Authority released a report in which they claim that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have no intrinsic value. I read a post by Michael Creedon where he mentioned that a lot of Americans think that cryptocurrencies have no inherent value, and I watched a video where Peter Schiff was arguing with Adrian Pompliano about gold having intrinsic value and Bitcoin not having intrinsic value, and I thought I want to get to the bottom of what this intrinsic value business is. So I started looking online and I found an awful lot of circular definitions for the term. That intrinsic value is the value of something that is intrinsic to that something, which doesn't give you anything. And then I found different definitions across different assets. So methods of calculating the intrinsic value of futures or an options financial instrument. Working out the intrinsic value of commodity money, things like that. But it didn't really seem to lead anywhere, and the one calculation for one type of asset did not seem to translate neatly into the calculation used for another one. So I decided to go it alone, and I started drawing up an equivalent of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but for intangible assets rather than sort of the physical world around us. And then I extended it outwards, and again I ended up with nonsense. I mean, for example, the most important thing, the thing that I would die without if it disappeared within 3 minutes, is oxygen. Oxygen has the largest intrinsic value to me, but it has no price, because I'm not living on a lunar base in a Robert Heinlein novel where I have to pay for it. It's as free as the air. So that kind of broke down too. And then looking across at fiat currencies, as far as I can work out, they have no intrinsic value. The only thing they have is an intrinsic threat, namely that if you don't pay your taxes in them, then you can go to prison. So it all kind of breaks down. And again, looking at Peter Schiff's statement that gold has intrinsic value, one of the examples he gave is that a lot of gold is used to make jewelry. But gold jewelry is only popular because gold is used as a store of value, and therefore wearing it is a signal that you are wealthy. I mean, we can make much cheaper jewelry out of some other metal and make it look like gold, but it's not as popular. So that doesn't seem like an intrinsic value to me. It is a psychological need for people to show off their wealth, but it's not a property of the metal gold itself that means that it's popular for jewelry. It's a property of the fact that it's a store of value, and therefore walking around with a Bitcoin public key on your t-shirt could equally be used as a social signifier that you are wealthy. People can go and scan it and check and say, gosh, this guy's got 100 Bitcoins, he's loaded. Maybe he'll pay for my meal on a nice date or something like that. So it all kind of got very, very frustrating, and at the end of it I kind of feel like I'm no further forward than before. And it very much made me think of some of the stuff that Wittgenstein wrote in his later work, where he says that if we are going to have a discussion, first we need to ensure that we are talking about the same thing. And in the case of intrinsic value, it's not just that different parties are talking about different things. The fact is, I get the impression that the different parties don't even really know what they are talking about. So it's 2 steps removed from a decent argument. So as you can probably tell by my tone, a very frustrating day. I also didn't sleep very well at night because of it, but hopefully I'll get something constructive done today, and I'll wake up tomorrow feeling a bit more refreshed and positive. Anyway, I hope that gave you some food for thought, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.